You're watching Nerdosity.
Hey, what's up, Nerdosity? This is your host, tigereycosplay, coming at you. And today, I'm coming back at you with a top list of Nerdosity. But first, let me just tell you about a little something that I got going on, and that's called my Etsy. Y'all, I make a whole ton of cool things. Like this water bottle right here. It has a little spout top up here. Great water comes out of it, great water. And I can put a design on it. This happens to be totally Spies, where it's a RPG sort of thing for Sam. I have Sam, Alex, Clover, and all three girls on it. Also, if you want some other RPG sort of thing on your bottle or something else, you ask for a custom order on my Etsy. So do the custom order. I also make things like Spider-Man face shells. I make things like dice box for your D&D. I can also make these fun little fidget jellyfish. Super cool. Love these little boys. Love these little guys. They're super neat. And I can make a whole bunch of other stuff like Nezuko's bamboo from Demon Slayer. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. Make sure you check it out. My Etsy is called Nerdosity Creations, so make sure you check it out. Alright, today our top list of Nerdosity happens to be the hardest God of War Ragnarok boss fights. God of War Ragnarok was an amazing game, despite having Atreus in it. Oh my gosh, no, I will never get over that. He sucks. Gosh, he's annoying. It's awful. Look, even though I could write a whole video on how much Atreus sucks and just how much every single time I saw or heard or had to play as him, I wanted to claw my eyes out. And also how extremely cheesy his ending was in God of War. Like, he looks over at Kratos and is just like, I've got to go now. And then swings off like Spider-Man. Like, what the frick was that, right? Like, what the heck? But I digress. This is not that type of video. I can't do it. It would take too daggone long. It'd be like an hour-long video, and nobody wants that. And this is about a whole different top list of Nerdosity. And if you read the title, you know. It's the top hardest God of Ragnarok fights. Ragnarok. What the frick? Did I lose how to say this? Thor Ragnarok. Ragnarok. What the heck am I saying Ragnarok for? Okay, Ragnarok. Have I just been messing that up the entire time? Hardest boss fights, to be exact. If you ever thought that this game was going to be just a walk in the park, or just a light, sweet, fluffy, wonderful time, oh my goodness, you sweet, innocent summer child, you never played the game, because you will have a rude awakening. But for the folks who love to get down and dirty and jump headfirst into a gritty game about death, war, and gods, you know this game was rough as heck. Oh my goodness. I even heard that easy mode kicked heck of butt for the people who come in unprepared. In this game of rage quits, and let me tell you, there's a lot. These few fights are the most rage quitty of them all. So, major spoilers for the game, obviously. Now let's begin. Alright, party people, number 10 on my list is Garm. Garm was the huge, soulless, rift-making interdimensional wolf that Atreus frees while looking for a mask piece that kind of looks very similar to the mask from The Mask, the movie that Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz starred in, but, I digress. That he was looking for in Helheim. Now, this bad boy wolf literally had no soul, so I was not being mean earlier. That's a plot piece, alright? And would have torn the world asunder and apart and every which way to Sunday if it wasn't for Tyr locking it up in the first place, and then Kratos stopping it long enough for Atreus to transfer a soul into it the second time around. The soul being Fenrir, and then he turned into a really sweet, good boy, and it was great. But Atreus still effed a lot of things up. Just saying. The reason it was one of the harder fights for me was because the wolf was indeed huge, humongous, large, alright? And it filled up most of the screen, like the TV screen, and also the play space. So it made it super hard to dodge attacks. To add insult to injury, the wolf was also quite quick, so you'd be lucky to dodge all of the attacks that were thrown in quick succession, while also attacking yourself before the next attack started coming, which were one right after the other. It was so hard to get a word in edgewise. Also, some more salt in the wound comes when you believe you've beat the creature. Like you kill it. And then all of a sudden it comes back to life. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, y'all. 3 times. Each with 6 health bars to deplete. And you can only hit him at certain times. So it's not even that you can hurt him at random times. You have to hurt him when it is specifically allowed. You know how hard that is? And how long that takes. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is number 10. It just gets harder from here. The only real weapon that can do really any damage to this bad boy is the Dropner Spear, which you just got like literally maybe 1 chapter before this boss fight. So if you didn't upgrade it at all, you're in for a really rough time. So upgrade it. Upgrade it immediately when you get it, because you'll need it. Anyway, this battle is a long, grueling one, and you will need a lot of patience and skill, which I failed to have in the first 2 go-rounds. Yes, I died twice. Sue me, but I still got it done. Alright guys, up next, number 9 is the Maven. This boss kind of comes out of nowhere in the middle of your adventure and can certainly catch you with your pants down, metaphorically. We never see butt in God of War Ragnarok, and we're very happy about that. Alright, if you were like me, and just waltzed into the elven sanctuary of Elfheim looking for collectibles, you know, the little super fun stuff, and lost a good bit of health while doing so, and then triggered this boss fight, then prepare to die. A lot. This light elf boss almost fights like a Valkyrie, and has a lot of moves that will tear you apart if you're not careful. On top of that, she has a healing spell that can take away all your progress if you don't interrupt it. So beyond that, stay on your toes, but definitely be prepared to lose this fight at least twice, because I know I did, but you'll get there, I promise. It's only number 9. You got a lot more to go. Okay, people, next up is number 8, which is the Oath Guards of the Crater in Vanaheim. There are 3 of these suckers, Valley, Eagle, and Jorgen. And I think I'm saying those correctly, but if I'm not, I'm sorry. And they're super unassuming at first. They don't even look like bosses to begin with. They kind of look like they're just standing there inviting you for a fight, like a quick little fight that'll give you a couple of XP points and then you can go on your way. Wrong! Wrong. You get up close and personal and then realize just how tough and resilient they are. Even though they are slow, they pack quite a wallop if they connect with you and can tear through your health very quickly if they are allowed to use their spells and the blue-ringed attacks. Not to mention, you also have to take care of a few mini enemies that will fight you as well. And it's super easy to forget about them while dodging the Oath Guard. And you can end up dying to a stupid little Hellwalker that came up out of nowhere when you've almost whittled away the entire health bar of Valley, or Eagle, or Jorgen. I'd take them out first, the little enemies, quickly, so you can just focus on the Oath Guard. Good luck to you, man. Number 7 is the Raven Keeper. Not only is this boss fight pretty difficult, but she is also one of the more deplorable villains of the game, right up there along with Odin and Heimdall. After killing every single one of Odin's ravens, which is 42 by the way for the players counting at home, you get to kill the person who was responsible for the ravens and put them into Odin's care. What you weren't expecting was a little tidbit of information that all of these ravens were murdered children's souls that she manipulated and transformed into ravens for eternal servitude to Odin until you freed them by killing them.
New father, new mother, new fate. To suffer, in life we hanged, in death we kneeled, until you freed us with your steel. Our souls transformed, our minds made.
Just a funny feeling.
Analytical mind knows pain. Our lives cut short, souls sinking deeper, until God got.
Brave keeper. An acolyte of Odin's.
Unwilling daddy, tied the noose tight, to fit the dust to open, to bask in his light. We tried to escape, we fought, we screeched, but nothing escapes the keeper's reach.
Get away from my children. Have you any idea how long it took to shape their spirits into something useful? Have you any idea of the effort?
With newfound hatred and certainly righteous fury, you will march headstrong into this boss fight, thinking it'll be easier, but so satisfying. And it is super satisfying when you do eventually kill her. But it's not that easy at all, in the slightest bit. Not only is she a souped up version of the witch doctors, aka the cedar witches, who could teleport instantly from any attack unless you hit them with an arrow first, but she also summons large volumes of various enemies to fight you during the battle. Just like the Oath Guards, if you pay too much attention to the Keeper, a random enemy can come out of nowhere and finish you off. This is a fight that will take a while and could kill you a lot if you get too cocky. Oh, and seriously, it will kill you if you get too cocky, because if you think you're winning because you get her health bar down to this much, this little bit, just a good 1 or 2 health bars left, and you're like, oh, I'm winning now, I can just take my time, here we go, do with that. No! Psych! She summons a dragon. A last-ditch effort on her side that can definitely kill you if you don't have a lot of health left. Or just kind of kill you quickly in general, because it's a freaking dragon, yeah? Seriously, the several different enemies in one battle that you have to fight can throw off your rhythm, making this a seriously difficult fight after a seriously difficult Raven treasure hunt. Maybe not difficult, but it was certainly time-consuming. Oh my goodness.
That's frost in my neck. Well done, brother.
Next up, number 6 is Orn Stanger. When I first fought this thing, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I can do this. Then the first death, I was like, what the heck? And I fought it so daggum much, all I could think is do I really have to fight this thing? I literally lost so many lives to this weird otter werewolf thing that it just felt like I should delete the game. I should rethink my life. It's a boss that comes out of nowhere during a very optional and easy looked over side quest. Like a side quest that you can miss if you don't actively look for it. Also, it doesn't even look like anything to worry about at first. Doesn't even look like a boss until you see the name up top here in the health bar. That's the only thing that gives it away that it's a boss. It's about Kratos' size, not big. Not like what a boss is supposed to be, you know? And the health bar isn't even that much. Seriously, like comparatively to the other bosses, like it's not a lot. Then this fight starts, where it launches itself at you at breakneck speeds and spits sizable poison vomit or lashes out its freakishly long tongue at you if you stray too far, like some rabies-infested Wolverine chupacabra. Your attacks have to be supremely on point if you even want to hit it, considering it can just move out of the way so quickly it's infuriating. Simply put, it'll sap your health before you can even blink. You're dead in an instant. Boom. And then you actually have to sit up and take this enemy seriously, like that first death was a fluke. And then you die about 18 more times before you can finally manage to kill it, and then you even wonder if it was worth it in the first place to do this side quest, which you can't even remember the objective of it anymore. What was it about again? All I can remember is this hoe that just makes me want to cry. Seriously, what was I fighting for? What was this side quest for? Alright, we've made it halfway. Here is number 5, Heimdall. Now this cocky dude will not stand still or let you hit him without catching him off guard first with the Draupnir spear. You already got a taste of his power and arrogance as Atreus when he beat the snot out of him. And soundly too. And it almost was it felt great actually to see the snot beat out of Atreus, even though you were playing as him. And it kind of scared you a little bit until you got a cutscene. Then you felt really awesome because he beat the snot out of Atreus. Yeah. But now you actually get to make this fight a little bit more fair when you meet him as Kratos. And this one is also one of the more satisfying fights because Heimdall is just so annoying. I don't know, maybe he and Atreus are the same sort of annoying, but you actually get to kill this dude and get him out of the game, so it's nice. But before you get to do any sort of like hitting on Heimdall or whatever, you first have to kill his animal vehicle, Gulltopper. This. Which is no small feat, mind you me. Yeah, no, this guy is tough. You have to do that first before you can start to make any headway on Heimdall's health. And you know what's also awful is that he doesn't even care that his little buddy that he toted around died. Like he was just like, oh man, you suck. Now I'm gonna have to fight you myself. And it's like, what the frick? Anyway, this fight is made up of so much dodging, throwing spears, detonating the spears, and then picking away at his health with a few attacks before he recovers, and you have to repeat the whole daggum process.
You actually hit me!
It is a terribly long battle that can end so quickly if you fail to dodge his attacks a couple of times. Seriously, that's all it takes really for his And dodging is extremely difficult considering how fast Heimdall moves. You will probably waste at least 2 lives trying to get the timing down of dodges and getting into a rhythm because he moves like at a blink of an eye, seriously. Then you have to fight him again in his second wave. Yes, he comes back to hurt you again, even though you beat him soundly the first time.
You think you get to just walk away? No. That is not how this works.
God of Ragnarok really does that a lot, giving you second wave battles of enemies. It's kind of cruel.
You do not get to decide my fate! You are dead, sunshine.
And anyway, his second wave is a whole nother set of moves that you kind of have to get a feel for and learn, and then a whole nother set of dying because you probably were at very low health when you beat him the first time and went into his second wave. Yeah, to fight you again, and unfortunately, Heimdall is one of the worst defenders. Where Garm mostly had the same moves the second time around with a few little additions that you could get the hang of. Heimdall gets more erratic and angry as well as more powerful, and it will take some very, very lucky dodges and lucky attacks to reach the end. And the end is super satisfying, but also a little scary.
Stop!
You strike like a sloppy cow!
Next up, number 4, Svitgar, the Cold, and the Sisters of Ilska. Again, I'm sorry for the butchering of these names, but there they are, right up there. Berserkers are notoriously difficult boss battles, seeing as they are only allowed to be fought almost at the end of the main story, and also they lock you into the battle until you win or you die. Some of these Berserkers you can get a handle on, such as, bear with me, Hardrafil, the Callous, or Hvitsker, the Bold, but the others just hit different, if you catch my drift. Well, let me just give it to you straight. You fight 3 Berserkers at once. If the name didn't give it away, or you thought that once one died, another one came to take his place and to fight you again, so it was kind of like coming to life 3 times like Garm did, which is so terribly wrong. No, it's so wrong. This fight is 3 Berserkers at once, and it definitely feels like it. Like, each fighter has its own moveset and will rush you at any given moment to take you away from the other sibling and probably catch you way off guard, and then you bite the big one. They have a lot of elemental moves, which can really ruin your day by slowing you down or completely halting your movements if you don't dodge correctly. Now granted, the sisters do have way less health, but 3 big hitters coming at you from all sides all at once with no reprieve from any of them, it's not an easy fight. It's not an easy fight in the least bit. And you'll probably lose most of your health just trying to get rid of the sisters before you can even focus on the main dude. Seriously, don't let the seemingly low health of the sisters lure you into a false sense of easiness. They won't hesitate to almost one-shot you. Seriously. Alright, party people, we're making it into the big 3s. And starting off with the third one is Thor. No. Wait up, hold up. You're probably wondering why Thor is number 3 when we haven't even seen Odin yet. Considering he's like the big bad, you know? Or maybe not, because you're thinking, obviously Odin is number 1, right? Wrong. So keep watching to see what number 1 really is. And yeah. It is kind of weird to put Thor first or to put Thor on this list when Odin isn't, if it wasn't for the fact that you fight Thor twice. And he's also an enemy who is made to fight. Unlike Odin, who rests on his laurels for the whole entire game, making others do his dirty work. His boss battle didn't even make me break a sweat. Beat him on the first try. Yeah. Thor, on the other hand, soundly beat me. In the first few minutes of the game, before the cutscene saves me, where he technically beats Kratos because Kratos is out of practice and we just started this terribly hard game after finishing Stardew Valley. So, back to the fighting. You have to flee his charge attacks, the melee attacks, and the lightning bolts while trying to pick away at his health. Eventually, you die. You will die. Like die. And then he shocks you back to life with Mjolnir like a makeshift defibrillator. And then he continues his onslaught against you before the cutscene saves you, like I said.
Oh no. I say when we're done. I'm not leaving till I see the real you.
Which is so degrading, by the way. Then, the second time you fight him, like, way at the end of the main story, he's out for blood. Like, he's not going to revive you or nothing. So you gotta stay on your toes. By this time, you are way more powerful, so the fight is a bit easier, but Thor still packs a wallop. And the cutscenes may still save you at the end. Like as long as you hit him to a certain point, the cutscene will stop the whole entire fight and you'll breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, whew, I was this close to death. He has a lot of unblockable attacks and a wide range of attack space. Like the attack space he has is huge. So you have to be ready to dodge and run. Hopefully you have a fun little perk that drops health stones, because you're gonna need it.
Fight time!
You're what the All-Father made you! You can choose to...
You all die!
Alright, y'all, number 2 is King Hrolf Kraki. This guy is a Berserker, if you didn't know. And he is the last Berserker to fight, because you are only allowed to fight him once you defeat every other Berserker in the game. So that means you have to defeat the 11 others before you can fight him. And it shows, because, man, this dude definitely is the second hardest enemy in this game. Like, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. This dude is the second hardest, definitively. You better be ready and have the best armor on, fully upgraded, and the best perks and attacks also fully upgraded. You gotta have every single duck in a row because this fight tests everything you've learned and then some. He has 10 health bars and uses attacks from every other berserker that you've faced and changes them up frequently. It's almost like fighting all 11 all over again and all at once. And don't think it's going to be easy because you know the other movesets. It is not. Also, at different times he will gain a shield around his health bars that you have to deplete before you are able to do any damage on him again. And with at least 3 shields, that's basically 13 health bars in total and a whole lot more of you dying. Even on easy mode, this boss is nearly impossible to beat. So you have to be very, very patient, very calm as to not make stupid mistakes and then die because of them, you know? Like I did. Also, it might behoove you to look online to find the best builds and movesets that will work for you to beat him. And like he has a ton of unblockable attacks and things that you have to make sure you interrupt or else the fight becomes immensely harder. But if you do want to cheat so that you can 100% the game quickly and not have to spend so much time on this guy because it's a lot of dying. I kid you not, you will die a lot. Unless you're like a master gamer, in which case good for you. But if you do want to cheat, the game does allow you to use a save point that will bring you back to life with only half of his health left. So if you manage to pick away his health all the way to the halfway point, and then if you die, then you respawn and he is only at the halfway mark. But you have to get to the halfway mark for that to happen. So, good luck. Alright, before we get into the number 1 pick, I want to give you guys some of my honorable mentions. Here we go. The Nidhogg, a huge lizard popping out of interdimensional rifts on different parts of the fight area to attack and then bolt. Not a fun time. Blackton. The Wolvers in this game are so annoying because they are quick and relatively powerful. This guy just takes it to the max. The Dragons. They fly and breathe fire and stuff. Plus, they're huge. And it's not a terribly hard fight, but it ain't exactly easy either. You gotta use a lot of spears and arrows. The Draugrs. Strong, flaming, undead humans that pack a good punch as well as setting you aflame if they get too stimulated. Because they blow up. But they don't die because of it. They just blow up a lot of flames. The Berserkers! Like the other 2 on this list, the other 10 still pack a punch even though they are easier to fight because you can get the feel of the movesets and the rhythm. Plus, I couldn't make the whole entire list about Berserkers. That wouldn't be fun. Hrist and Mist. Valkyries are always difficult to fight, but fighting 2 at once is a whole nother ball game. But they are a part of the main storyline, so they couldn't be Sigrun levels of difficult, you know what I mean? Last but not least, Odin. Now, I didn't sign up to play a platformer game while fighting the guy who killed my dwarf buddy Brock, but basically you have to do that, jumping around on different grounds to miss his full-scale attacks, like some dramatic and awful game of The Floor is Lava. Alright guys, you've made it to the number 1 pick of my list, Gna. Yeah, all I've got to say is good luck if you plan on fighting Gna. You better be ready to die a lot because you will. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The sheer amount of attacks, speed, and power of this Valkyrie is so overwhelming that a lot of the time the fight will end before it even begins. You almost have to be just as aggressive as she is so she doesn't zoom into the air and fly on top of you to give you a majorly degrading beatdown. Like she curb stomps you, boy. Still, you have to be on your guard because even if she isn't allowed to fly up into the air to give you that beatdown, she can still tear you a new one if you aren't careful with every single one of her devastatingly powerful attacks. Honestly, if you let her hit you even once before you get her down to the halfway mark, you lost a fight. Like the fight is done. That's just how terrifyingly tough she is. With her spinning strike being the only blockable attack in this fight, you have a lot of dodging and praying in your future.
The results will be the same. Good!
Let me just lay down the list of attacks for you. The charge grab, the grab from above, the wing jab, the Bifrost beams, the magic missiles, her kicks, her shielded wings, the area of effect attack, the spinning charge, and the ground slam, which is an insane amount of attacks, I might add, couple of which can be parried, but you definitely gotta be on point to make sure those parries don't turn into deadly mistakes.
You call yourself a god?
Now, the Bifrost Beam is almost the worst attack to get hit with, considering that if she hits you again before the Bifrost elemental effect dissipates, you lose all of the health that the Bifrost affected. She also has 2 other attacks, by the way, that you have to counter using Freya's arrows. That's why I didn't put them in a list over there, because they're very different. You can only stop them with Freya, which is the Soundstone and the Sigil Fire attack. By the way, you have to be very quick to shoot the right arrow into one of these attacks. And if you do manage to do it, you get a few precious moments to hit her with everything you got while she is stunned. Basically the only time that she will ever let up on you. Again, like King Kraki, you can use the save point method to 100% the game so that you can at least have that platinum trophy before you try to win against Gna the right way. Good luck.
Asgard's blood is on you! I failed!
Now don't get it twisted. Just because these are the hardest fights of the game doesn't mean that all the other fights are a cakewalk. Actually, it's the exact opposite. This game is just on a higher level of playing, like just a higher level of just fighting and playing and games. So be prepared to die a lot. I mean, not Cuphead or Dark Souls level of dying, but a good bit nonetheless. And I know that it's odd that Odin was in the honorable mentions, but again, like I said, by the end of the game, I was so powered up that he was easy comparatively to the other boss fights on this list. But I still had a blast playing this game to 100% completion, and I certainly hope that this isn't the last time that I get to play as my tall, bald, tattooed Spartan/Norse boy. Now, if you like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up and comment below the hardest fight that you had to do in this game, if you agree with my list or if you don't, and also why Atreus sucks. Please give me all the information on why Atreus sucks. I know, I just want you to know, and I want everybody else to know. Alright, also, make sure you subscribe so I can keep making more videos like this, and hopefully come back with some Spider-Man videos in the future when I get a new person to work with. Also, make sure you check out my Etsy, like I said before, Nerdosity Creations, for all your 3D printed nerdy and prop-like needs. Thank you so much for watching. You've been watching Nerdosity, and I'll see you next time. Bye!